Morgen und willkommen zu unserer wöchentlichen Tourismus-Sendung, die wir ja nun seit einiger Zeit eingeführt haben. Wir machen das nach wie vor weiterhin so, dass wir versuchen, die Sendung auch in Deutsch zu bringen. Es glückt uns natürlich nicht immer, aber wir versuchen halt unser Bestes, denn wir sind nun mal in einem Land, wo halt viele Anderssprachige auch mit sind. Deswegen ist Englisch dann oft leider die einzige Art, wie wir in diese Sendung bringen können. Mein Name ist Frank Steffen, willkommen heute Morgen und wir haben natürlich ganz allen voran wieder unsere sogenannten Topics. Ja, willkommen zurück. Erstmal allen voran unser Umweltminister, also der Pohamba Chifeta, der hatte in dieser Woche die Gelegenheit, seinen Ministerialhaushalt zu verlesen. Und bemerkte dabei, dass in den letzten Jahren zwar die Tourismusbranche der Sektor war, der am meisten zugelegt hat, aber leider jetzt in der Covid-Zeit auch am Herzen getroffen wurde. Also und ja, ich denke, das wissen wir inzwischen alle. Sein Ministerium wurde indessen für das Geschäftsjahr 2020/2021 584 Millionen zugewiesen. Damit steht er, glaube ich, an 16. Stelle aller Posten. 18 Millionen davon sind übrigens für die Entwicklung des Tourismus sowie die Glücksspielregulierungsprogramme vorgesehen. Und inzwischen wurden dann auch 93 Millionen für das Infrastrukturentwicklungs-, Wartungs- und Evaluierungsprogramm zur Verfügung gestellt und kündigte der Minister auch an, dass sie im kommenden Jahr anfangen werden, die Wildtiere jetzt auch zu den weiteren Schutzgebieten, also Hegegebieten zur Verfügung zu stellen. Und des Weiteren soll das eventuell auch an Farmer weitergegeben werden, die dann auf die Art ihre Farmen mit Wild neu bestocken können. Sie werden da sehen, wir haben da über die Löwen und die Elefanten da einiges gebracht. Es geht darum, dass man auch die Tiere jetzt besonders schützen will. Das ist jetzt weniger das Ministerium, sondern auch von Privatseite her, weil man das Gefühl hat, durch Covid sind so ein bisschen die ganzen Sponsoren weggeraten und versucht man eben auf diese Art noch diesen Tieren weiter zu helfen. Sie sehen, ich habe da auch noch ein Foto eingebaut von dem Holz oben im Kavango. Das geht eben ganz einfach darum, dass der Minister auch in der Hinsicht viel bewegen will. Wir wissen, dass einige deutsche Organisationen und Stiftungen auch mit dabei sind und tatkräftig versuchen eben, diese ganze Forstwirtschaft so ein bisschen zu regulieren und in Ordnung zu kriegen, damit wir solche Bilder in Zukunft nicht mehr brauchen. Interessant ist dann auch, dass Chifeta wird 5 Programme, dem sogenannten Green Climate Fund und dem Global Environment Fund, unterbreiten. Und das Ganze hat einen Wert von 1,3 Milliarden Namibia-Dollar und dient dann eben dem Erhalt der biologischen Vielfalt, wie er das nannte, und zur Bekämpfung des Klimawandels sowie der Land- und Bodenverödung. Also obwohl sein Haushalt also relativ klein ist, wenn man überlegt, was er alles schaffen will, dann haben wir Gott sei Dank eben diese Hilfe, die wir noch benutzen können und beantragen können. Ja, und dann haben wir in dieser Woche natürlich, haben wir einen riesen Heuschreckenschwarm gehabt, der im Norden bei Grootfontein da in der Gegend scheinbar rein ist. Das sieht aus, als ob es da gebrannt hat. Das ist richtig schlimm. Ist natürlich unwahrscheinlich zu beobachten und unglaublich eigentlich. Aber hier sieht man dann richtig, was das Viehzeug dann anstellen kann nachher. Die fressen natürlich in der denkbar schlimmsten Zeit für uns, fressen uns jetzt die Weide weg. Und ja, ich denke, da wird es einige Farmer geben, die wirklich ein Problem haben. Ich habe es halt einfach mal gebracht, denn das sieht man sonst in Namibia nicht jeden Tag, derart viele Heuschrecken. Also ich kann mich nicht entsinnen, dass ich schon mal so einen Schwarm in Namibia gesehen habe. Die sind wohl von Botswana rübergekommen. Wir hatten vor einiger Zeit auch in der Allgemeinen darüber geschrieben. Es ging da um Heuschreckenplagen, die in Botswana einfielen. Die hatten dann angefangen zu spritzen. Dadurch sind die Viecher am Ende abgewandert rüber auf die namibische Seite. Da hieß es dann aber, dass sie das in der Sambesi-Region einigermaßen im Griff haben. Aber wie Sie sehen, so einfach war das dann am Ende wohl doch nicht. Also ja, hoffen wir mal, dass unser Landwirtschaftsministerium das schnell in den Griff kriegt, denn ich nehme mal an, da wird jetzt auf schnelle Art gesprüht werden. Ich nehme mal an, das muss man wahrscheinlich mit dem Flugzeug machen. Ja, und das bringt uns schon zum Ende zu den Themen heute als solches. Als nächstes bringen wir Ihnen dann noch die Destinations, die wir Ihnen dann natürlich zusammen mit Chloe Dürr präsentieren. Welcome back. As you can see, we've brought you a lot of stuff today. Lots of new destinations which we haven't touched on before. You will see just now. You wanted to talk about Desert Grace, the Gondwana Lodge.
Yeah, actually one of my favorite lodges to date. I mean, Gondwana has a way with making each lodge have a different personality, and this one is one of the most memorable I've ever been to. It's, you know, nestled in the solitaire surroundings, which are already hues of pink and very saturated coloring, and it's just so quirky and Instagrammable how you have a fridge full of iced tea in the middle of nowhere, and, you know, just their signage, for fuck's sake, slow down. It's just, you know, they've got such a sense of humor. I'd actually love to know who comes up with it all. But there you can see actually the lodge was built with the surrounding sands mixed with concrete and shards of glass, which was recycled. And at night, when the lights shine, it actually picks up the glass, so it mirrors the canopy of stars that are already overhead. But the attention to detail at this lodge is honestly unlike anywhere I've been to before. It's contemporary, it's new. I mean, the one night in Namibia bar, everything about it is just, they've thought about every single element, and this is the arch, and that's actually the center of the entire lodge, and it symbolizes the harmony of elements. So, and that's exactly what the lodge itself is all about. I mean,
it's very arty as well. Then
it's built so sensitively into the environment that you wouldn't even see it from a distance, but you cannot forget it once you've been inside. And here you can see on one of the sundowner trips the colors that they've used.
The Naukluft Mountains in the back there just now.
The colors that they've used make so much sense when you see the surroundings at night. I mean, the hues of pink that you see are just, honestly, it is 60 kilometers from the Cesarium gate, so you are able to go and see it, but you'll have to wake up very early to get there, you know, before the crowds. But you almost don't need to leave the park itself. I mean, it's Gondwana's private preserve, and it's got solidified dunes, it's got small game. It's, I mean, you don't want to leave. Here you can see how they've incorporated the hues of pink in such a quirky, sophisticated way. I actually think Fox and Bowen,
the retro style as well, no? with the fridge and the Narvis radio. It's
really unbelievable. I cannot wait to go back. And each room has a plunge pool, which is actually quite unique when it comes to
this sort of thing.
And so you can spend your entire day literally lavishing in the pool, and
I suppose game walks around there, and you can
all around you. It's a very, very special highlight, I think, to include on a trip. To solitaire.
Actually, you know, and then one automatically always accepts that it's got to be camping. I think at this stage, probably for all of the Namibians, it's worthwhile actually going to these places as well, because now it's not overrun. We actually have all the place and time we have.
But actually, funnily enough, I visited just before COVID lockdown, and the rooms themselves are all very well dispersed, so you're not on top of everyone either. And so I would say that you could go and self-isolate there for the rest of your life and be very happy.
Okay, well, maybe we should talk to Gondwana about that.
And so then onto the Kharhari, which, as you can hear, I'm not very good at saying, but anyway, it's still one of my favorite places, and as soon as borders open, I would love to go back. It's very special, you know, and unique even in its landscapes, you know, lots of dry riverbeds. You can go in a sedan, but as you can see there,
quite sandy,
we had to help quite a few. But I mean, it's, as long as you stick to the main roads, I think you can get away with it, because the game sightings that you are able to see, if you know, take it slow, go to the watering holes at the right time of day, you
should still be able to see a lot.
I think so. I think don't always feel as though you need a 4x4 to experience it, but certainly when you go to the wilderness campsites, you can't not have a 4x4.
I think what needs to be said in that regard is you've got to have a car which has a bit more height.
I
It
agree.
doesn't always have to be a 4x4. If you release a bit of pressure on your tires, you should be able to make most of these roads. This is obviously the old Kalahari Gemsbok Park on the South African side, and on our side it's Kalahari. So this is as you go down to Tweerivieren from Kalahari's side on the Namibian border, I'd say.
It is a border crossing, so you have to keep in mind that the gates shut at 4 o'clock, which is something I learned. I was actually 2 minutes late and ended up having to camp outside of the park itself because you are crossing a border.
That's at Matamata now.
Yeah, when I first arrived. But once you're inside, it's the distances, when you look at the map, don't seem very far, but you have to actually, don't leave after 12 o'clock every day, because it does take you far longer than you realize, because you are driving slowly because you want to be game viewing, and you are spending extended time at watering holes. So you really have to keep an eye on the clock, because they're very strict. If you're late, it's not.
They don't make
They
exceptions.
don't make exceptions.
Yeah.
But on the whole, it is a fantastic place for families to go. For photographers certainly, but bring your zoom lenses and binoculars. But some of the sightings that you're able to see there are very special.
And these are the Black Man lines, Kalahari lines.
Yes,
yeah?
I think I saw some beautiful sightings of the black men. I think they were young, so you couldn't quite see
they didn't have
their
that beard
mane.
yet, yeah.
But beautiful sighting. It was actually quite exciting to see lions not just lazing around, because sometimes it can be quite boring to sit and watch all day when they're just lying down. But they were on the move. But this is Nosip, and Nosip actually was a highlight for me, just because it has its own private water hole. So in the afternoons, you are able to sit in the hide, and predators come and all sorts of things.
Which is nice, because you don't always want to drive around. It's nice to laze at a place once in a while and just sort of prepare for the next day when you drive again.
Exactly. But the stars at night are just unreal. So I would say, and it's also what's wonderful about the park is that it's actually nice all times of year. There isn't a specific time that is beautiful. So
and it's not that overrun.
It's not. School holidays in South Africa and Namibia, I would say it's probably the fullest.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a charm of every season. So
yeah. And then you wanted to tell us about the Kingfisher Bar this time.
Another very memorable experience. I'm always looking for Instagram-worthy locations, but this is part of Taranga Safari Lodge, which is quite close to Rundu. And they have a bar that's literally on the backwaters of the Kavango, and it's so beautiful because actually the locals and the local communities in the area, they live so close, but they also work with the lodge. So so they are fishing and going about their daily life, which makes the whole experience so much more romantic. But I can't
authentic.
But I can't think of anything more special than literally floating on water. For sundowners.
And this is typical of Kavango, eh?
Oh, it's just
so nice, yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to go back. But actually, also the sunsets and sunrises from their location. I took a sunrise bird viewing boat ride, and you can see here how, I mean, it just gets more and more magical as the sun starts to rise. And the bird sightings are actually unbelievable. And you almost start to feel like you are seeing double, because everything is so.
Yeah, just check that picture. You could actually turn it around and you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know. It's really because it's so peaceful. It's so quiet. It's so undisturbed. But an interesting thing, which I think you'll see in the photographs just now, is they actually have small borders for the local communities to go between Angola and Namibia.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was very surprised to see, but you'll see now, it's just a grass hut.
No, you can actually just walk over. Yeah, it's really just a control point.
I think so, because I mean, obviously the communities are so close together. And
it's actually family.
It is family.
I mean, these guys live some on that side. It's the same that you see in Novemberland as well. I mean, it's all good and well. We say there's a border simply because some colonial guy decided it needs to be a border. But this is actually not a border for these people. This is where they stay. This is where they live. And
schooling as well. I think they go between the two.
Yeah.
But I would say there you can see that's one of the borders.
And
yeah, it's very special. I think bird life here is very special,
Yeah.
especially in the morning and afternoon. So,
But all over in the northeast, you find that wherever you go,
Incredible birds.
there's incredible wildlife, people living together with that, and it's nice that we are able to maintain that.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the Kingfisher Bar, and that's another highlight. So,
Ja, willkommen zurück dann nochmal. Das waren jetzt unsere Destinations. Wie Sie sehen, wir versuchen Ihnen immer da so ein paar verschiedene Ideen zu bringen, Ihnen das schmackhaft zu machen, denn unser Land ist ja nun sehr verschieden. Leider haben wir in dieser Woche kein Interview. Ich hatte versucht, den Umweltminister zu bezirzen, damit er uns hier im Studio mal so ein bisschen erklärt, wie er das sieht, vor allen Dingen mit der Covid-Sache und wie es nach vorne hin weitergehen soll. Ich hoffe immer noch, dass es uns dann nächste Woche endlich glückt. Also es war bei ihm einfach so, dass er im letzten Moment verhindert war. Aber nichts für ungut. Wir bringen Ihnen zum Ende dieser Show dann nochmal das Foto der Woche. Und zwar ist das diesmal das tote Flee unten beim Sossos gleich benachbart. Hat man dieses Flee, eine wunderschöne Farben. Das ist ein Foto, das Herr Walter Probst uns mal zugesandt hatte bei der AZ. Und ich finde es einfach unglaublich, wie schön diese Farben sind. Man könnte beinahe glauben, das wäre Photoshop, aber ja, es gibt Menschen, die wirklich noch schöne Fotos machen können, ohne sich derartigen Tricks zu bedienen. Ja, und das bringt uns dann schon zum Ende dieser Show. Ich danke Ihnen fürs Zuhören und Zugucken und dann sehen wir uns in der nächsten Woche wieder.